Hey, good morning. I think we got everything set up right. How we doing out there? Oh my gosh, it has been a challenge here this morning. It looks like I'm in my office. I'm not in my office. My name is Jeff Fritz. I'm a program manager for Microsoft. I'm here at Microsoft Ignite 2018. Um, and this is my stream. This is my channel. We're going to write a little bit of code today. Not as much as I was planning, but I think we'll have some fun. Um, I want to thank my Jeff Holland, who was going to be my guest. We had a lot of problems with network as we were trying to get things set up and running here. The wires that we were given just were not delivering an IP address. We were running into issues now with Wi-Fi. Uh, Video wasn't performing quite right. It was a real pain in the neck getting started. But thank you everybody for joining me here. I see Gareth is here. I see Jay Wood. There's 3V. Hey, Sarah is here and Shy Sharp. Good morning, good morning. IT Goran from Belgrade, Serbia. Thanks so much for joining me. Um, yeah, we took a little bit of time getting started here. I actually can't stream for that long. This will end up being a shorty here this morning. We'll only go for half an hour because I have a workshop that I'm teaching just across the hall. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for that. Oh my gosh, Gareth, I really appreciate you using your Twitch Prime. Of course, anybody who has an Amazon Prime account can hook that up to Twitch. You get a Twitch Prime account and you get one free subscription you can use anywhere you'd like on any channel. And thank you for using your sub with me. You're going to get the .NET Bot mode, of course, and I'll match that and we'll make a donation to Girl Develop It. Thank you very much. Yes, absolutely. All cheers, all subs, we make a donation to Girl Develop It. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the music playing in the background here. Let's see if we can get that up and running. So I will play. I'm going to, you know what? I'm just going to drop right into Blue. There we go. Little music to code by, even though we're here at Ignite. And we'll get Jeff to join us on another time so that we can talk about Azure enabling CoreWiki a little bit. So I did want to spend some time today looking at the huge number of pull requests that we received from some of our viewers, from some of our pair programmers out there. So I want to jump right over to the code. There it is. You can see what's going on Twitch. And let's see if my Wi-Fi is actually going to hold up here on this machine. There we go. So we got a number of really good pull requests you can see here above me. Um, and I think it'll be really good. I can't hear the music, nor did I hear the developers chant. Let's see what we got here. I think my desktop audio. Let's see, let's dial that in a little bit more. Zerk asks, "Hey man, how's Ignite?" Ignite's been great. If you haven't had a chance to get to a Microsoft Ignite show, um, and you're in operations, you're a developer, you really should check it out. It really is focused on the things that you can do now inside of your applications, inside of your data center, or in the cloud. Really, really great stuff. Yes, this is Music to Code By. We're playing Blue. This is great music from our friend Carl Franklin. He's graciously allowed us to listen to this during the stream. So thank you so much for letting us play that. Zerk says, "I'm a student here in Orlando and I want to, but it's a little pricey." It is very pricey. It's something that I would really like to see younger folks, students, be able to get a scholarship to be able to attend. Is that Aid Volds? Thanks so much for using your Twitch Prime subscription here. Absolutely. We'll match that and make another donation to Girl Develop It so that women, underserved minorities can learn how to write code, just like we do here. 26,000 of your closest friends in the Orlando Conference Center. Yes, yes, yes. It's a lot of folks here, and it's been impressive how many people they've gotten to come through here. It's a ton. Azure Functions now have a Premier plan. Yep. And Zerk, you're driving Uber and Lyft to meet developers by Universal. That's cool. A good opportunity to work with universities. I agree, 3V. I think if we if we can try to get more young folks involved, interested in these technologies, and get in the door to premier Microsoft events that do cost a little bit, it might be beneficial to everybody. Did Microsoft do much in the way of developer events in the UK? I'd love to attend, but I'm on a budget and don't have a company who could support me going to conferences. Every now and again, you'll see us do a roadshow, and we'll go out to Europe for a couple of things. Like to meet up with devs on the Microsoft stacks. Are you kidding? There's an 18-wheeler that's just honking at us. Nice, thanks so much. But there are meetups. There are other things that you can meet up with folks in. I know, yep, developer DDD events around the UK, completely free. You'll see user groups like Philly.net that I'm a part of in the States that folks will attend. Great stuff, and it's around. Take a look. You can find it if you go and look for it. Let's see here. I don't like quite how low I am there on the screen. Let's see if I can fix that. And I don't have my nameplate up because I'm on a... there we go, that's a little bit better. Because I'm on a different machine than I normally use. I'm thrilled to see that Rainbow Beard Challenge right there, 3836. It's a lot, but we're not going to hit 5,000 in the next 3 weeks. It's just not going to happen. Let's take a look at some of these pull requests that have been submitted here and see if there's something that we can do to at least be a little bit productive here today. We only have about a half an hour, like I said, and we'll see what we can do. Have I been marketing that at Ignite? I've been marketing all kinds of stuff at Ignite. All right, let's see what we can do here. First one that I have here, $2.99 improvement ad solution items from Arg Tang from about a week ago. Let's see what we have in this one. Let's see if we can get at least into the Indigo area. Yeah, right. Rainbow Beard Challenge Ignite. I know. I've been mentioning it to folks. Like I said, we're not going to make it. Even if there was a landslide of people at my normal rates, it's just not going to come through. And the wireless, the network throughout the convention center has just been really bad all week here. All right, let's take a look-see. So I opened the project update DB command and solution items didn't work, so I changed the reference, added README and contributing files there. Oh my gosh, Sarah, thank you so much for subscribing as well, using your Twitch Prime. Now you're going to get to use the .NET bottom mode anywhere on Twitch. Check that out. Type C# BOT, and you'll be able to use that everywhere. And of course, I'll match that, and we'll make a donation to Girl Development. Not so, at least fixed point, not off topic. Will there be any F# Fridays in the next few weeks? I am going to get back to it, not next week, but the week after. We'll have, I think, 2 weeks that we'll do an F# Friday, and that'll be back out at TwitchCon at the end of October, and then we'll do some more F# Fridays. I think we'll do one or two in November, and then we'll see what happens in December. So it's coming. It will be coming back. It's just taking me a little bit of time to get it dialed in. So while in Ubuntober, we'll see. I think we're going to get at least one or two in. I like having NuGet config and gitignore easily available, Arctang says here. So modified solution explorer to include a couple of files here, the solution file. So let's take a look at the file that was changed. You can see how slow my network connection is as that bar fills up. Yes, it is correct. I am live from Microsoft Ignite. So you might be able to hear a little bit of the background noise because I'm in the podcasting booth area, and there's Channel 9 is actually right out here. I can see a bunch of folks on stage, Jeffrey Snover, and it looks like the PowerShell team up on stage. And over this way is the Microsoft Learn booths. Ubuntober, is that like May is for Macs? Yes, except it's Ubuntu. So I can see here what Arctang has done is simplified and added a bunch of items here into the solution items for our project. That's the only changes. I feel pretty comfortable just including that in our project. That just makes sense to make it easier to include here. So I will absolutely merge this so we can get argtang on our scoreboard here. So yeah, squash and merge, do it. Confirm. There, couldn't update branch. Try again. Do that again. Did it do something? I hope it did something. There we go. Merged commit. Fantastic. Thanks for the contribution. This makes it easier for folks to learn and interact with the project. That's great. I like seeing those types of contributions that really, it's not a lot, but long term, it fixes one of those paper cuts that you just don't want to interact with. You don't want to deal with. I've been here for a while to remember that one. Yes, Mayas for Max was great. Too bad Jeff Holland couldn't make it. Jeff was here, and we were literally fighting with this, and we had one or two video issues, and we had a problem with a microphone. We got them all fixed, and then the network just didn't respond at all. We tried 3 different network adapters, nothing. We called over the folks from the conference. We're like, there's no network here. And after half an hour of them in the back room literally patching things, it finally lit up. So it is too bad, but Jeff has promised me that he does want to join us. He's watched a number of our shows here, and he really likes what we're doing, and he wants to be a pair programmer with us and really interact with you. Write a little bit of code together. AutoMod's hot on today. What's going on? I do not have the moderator panel here in front of me. I can't look at that just now. Will WSL be covered, or are you booting into Ubuntu? I want to boot into Ubuntu, but I don't mind covering WSL for a show. Twitch now has categories and tags. Yes, and I believe I have categorized into programmers and education. We'll see if we can do a little bit more going forward. All right, let's take a look at another pull request here and see if we can make something happen. Get a couple of good ones here. Hey Frank, any idea about what you'd like to from the enhancement add cognitive services? Can you give me a link for that or an issue number for that one, Frank, that you're referring to? I think I know which one you're talking about. For CoreWiki, what I'm thinking is 281. All right, we'll take a look at that when this loads up here. Argtang has another pull request here, changed to name tuples in the article search. So I'm going to open that one. Look at this. Look at how slow the network is, right? So I need to use 2 different network connections because I've got 2 machines in the mix today. I've got my production machine here that I'm producing off of, and then I've got another one right here, my trusty Lenovo Yoga, that I'm actually using and staging, and that's the screen you see here above me. Any built CoreWiki and ran it on a Raspberry Pi? Chex Mix, that sounds really cool to build CoreWiki and run it on a Pi. I would love to see that happen. I think during our IoT event that I'm planning for November, we can do something like that. That would be really cool. Hey Frego, good to see you. Here we go. Change to name tuples. Change to name tuples in iArticle repository to make code more readable. Let's see what changed here. So Articles DB search engine under the search implementation. And I'm not too thrilled with the IMPL folder name there. It feels very English oriented. And I want to make sure that folks who aren't English first speakers can interact and work with this. So, scrolling down here, so we changed this from IEnumerable articles int found to a var receiving of articles total found. Article get search articles for query. So we're decomposing is what we're doing here. Right, so we're receiving a tuple out of it, and we're decomposing it into 2 specific variables, articles and total found. So instead of receiving back a tuple, we're receiving into these 2 different things here. Scrolling down, iArticle repository here. So we've got named values here instead to make it easier to interact with. Same thing here, the signature was changed. That looks fine. And it compiled and built properly. So once again, I'll accept and merge this. IoT November, I don't know about that. You've got a Pi right here. Go ahead, give it a shot. It should run on Linux. Docker's the best way to run .NET Core on a Pi. I don't see why it wouldn't work. You might be able to get it to work. I don't know. I haven't tried it. CoreWiki should run everywhere that .NET Core runs. I've been talking to the Scots this week about some of the demos they've shown on Raspberry Pi and seeing, what can we do to make .NET Core run on Raspberry Pi, particularly for some of these other projects that we're working on. It'd be neat to be able to put things on a Pi and interact with maybe Stream Tools or something. I don't know. Great, we got the merge happening. Thanks for the PR. I like that you made the code more readable. I'm always interested in more readable code and code that makes it easier for folks to understand what it is we're trying to accomplish here on stream. All right. See, look at that. My issues list is still not loading. There we go. Look at that. Now, Frank was referencing 281. Add cognitive services text sentiment on comments. So what we're looking at here, and what I really like about this, and this is something that I wanted to try and do, and we just don't have time for it today. And we would have had time if we had got started on when we wanted to and all that. So cognitive services, Azure Cognitive Services, has a bunch of different things that will analyze text and give you back data about the text that it's analyzing, including what they call sentiment analysis. It'll tell you if it's a positive sentiment or a negative sentiment. And you'll see folks run this particularly against social media streams, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and they'll look at, well, are these comments from folks positive about my product, right? Marketers love this information because they can immediately get feedback about when they run an advertisement, say during a big event, in the Olympics, Premier League Championship, Super Bowl, World Series, and they'll see people commenting about their product, about their commercial, and they want to know, well, is it a positive sentiment or is it a negative sentiment? And by running those blocks of text through cognitive services, they get a number coming back between 0 and 1, right? A decimal number. If it's closer to 1, if it's above 50%, it's a positive sentiment. If it's lower, it's a negative sentiment. So they want to see those numbers trend upwards. And we can do the same thing whenever somebody writes a comment on one of our articles. We can do some sentiment analysis against that to see, well, is this a happy comment? Do they like what's going on in the article? Or is it negative? And it might be neat to show off that service by adding that in to our comment processing. Now, we already do a little bit with sending emails coming off of when people create comments on your issues, on your articles. And we'll grow that. We'll see, how much more we can do around that type of interaction. The Simeon says, many companies do sentiment analysis on Twitter to help stock market investments. Oh, that's a great point. I could definitely see financial folks doing some sentiment analysis and categorization around products, right? Apple did a launch, right, a few weeks ago of their new iPhone, right, as the product launched, as it was being delivered, to be able to get that sentiment analysis of, all right, we shipped the first batch of iPhones. Well, what do people think about this? What do they enjoy their new phone? That's great information, not just for Apple, but also for the financial analysts to figure out, well, do we want to invest more in the company that released these products? So would you like to add an emoji on the side or a new page like stats? You know what? I don't know. That's a great question. Let's discuss it further on this issue, because Frank, I think they're both very valuable. If we just put Yeah, a happiness stat next to the comment. I like that, Simeon. If we put a happiness stat, or um, happiness feels like a weird um, term for it. Joy, that might be good. Approval. Um, I mean, it's sentiment. I, I'm not quite sure. Um, so let's figure out what we want to call that. But to log that as a property next to the comment, let's just take a look at that source code real quick. Let me open a Visual Studio. Listen to me. And let's take a look at our CoreWiki source code, and maybe we can think and talk a little bit about this, as a group here for the next few minutes before I have to run and they kick me out of the podcast booth. Before I go, maybe I'll turn the camera around so you can see what's going on here a little bit. Or actually, while this is loading, you know what? I can do that right here. Let me do this. See that? Wrong Visual Studio. Right? Come on. Yep, because it's the wrong one and it's an older version. Over to this one. There it is. Let me do this. I'm going to go over here to this, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn off CoreWiki, and I'll let you see what's going on around here. See that? I'm on a green screen. Haha. Let me show you what's going on. This is really cool. So so this is the podcast room, right? So you can see microphone that I have set up, right? And there's all my PCs and stuff. Look at this, right? There's my Stream Deck, right? All kinds of crap here, right? And then out there's the Learn booth, all going on out there in Ignite. And then out the other side, hey, how you doing? You can see Channel 9 is over there and they're filming, doing their thing, right? Really, really busy stuff, but so much fun here at Ignite. All right, let me turn CoreWiki back on. There we go. So that's kind of cool, huh? See, I really am here. All right, now let's take a look around what Frank is saying about this stat, right? About the happiness stat. Now, this isn't the latest version of CoreWiki here, but let's just at least look at our models around comments, and we can look here. So, looking at the code that we have, right? So, I mean, right, the comment has an article that it's related to and a display name, email, when it was submitted, the author. So to add another piece down here that's a decimal, right? And I'm not going to commit this, I'm just going to prototype a little here, right? If we put, right, and we did maybe sentiment, right, and it's right, so if we do, let's maybe a display, we said name equals happiness, joy, or something like that, sentiment really is the term that folks use, right? Then we can capture it as it comes back from sentiment analysis, right? Because somebody commits the comment, and then we could jam it in there. Worked on this for a bit, but didn't get very far in it. Hey, Jay Wood, thanks so much for joining us. This does feel like, right, and we were actually commenting specifically. Frank picked out the issue that you opened here. I think this is a really neat topic that we can dig into, and I think we can do a bit with it. Sentiment analysis, though, does require an Azure account, and I want to make sure that we don't couple CoreWiki tightly to Azure. I mean, my supervisors would love it if it was called Azure Wiki or Azure CoreWiki, or if it was only running on Azure. And I want to make sure that anybody, regardless of your cloud, regardless of your hosting provider, is able to download this and run it and learn from it. And I think if we're going to put sentiment analysis here, we'll add that as an extra field. But I want to, and as a whole, I want to create an Azure plugin project that lets you turn on and choose which optional Azure features you use. Exactly, Frank. There you go. There you go. I completely agree. Yes, yes, yes. Um, this needs to be optional, right? If you don't have the Azure Cognitive Services configured and included, well then, even though the field is there, we're not going to use it, so we're not going to show it. So CoreWiki, I think that's a great way to refer to it, Janescu. Maybe it's corewiki.extensions.azure, and we load those features into there. You definitely want to explore it. Oh, that's great. Is that Laszlo? Cool. Yeah, I think it is a good idea, and I like exploring and discussing those. Get folks pointed in the right direction here so that we can learn on our own, come back together here on stream, and have a good time working on some things. There's a number of other things with Azure I think we want to do. Azure Search. I think somebody started a pull request for Azure Search. Yeah, Azure Search Help, Arctang started on that. Let me see. Somebody added macOS and Linux specific files. That is T Shoals. I'm okay with including that. But if there's files that we needed to include for other operating systems in our gitignore, I'm okay with including those. That feels like low-hanging fruit, easy to include. Azure Functions to Azure Search. That's not bad, Janesco. Since we're using Mediator, so Mediator we're using to drive CQRS architecture, command, query, responsibility, separation. So when we have a command that says, here's a new article, we can trigger a bunch of actions that come off of that. One of those right now, the only one, is save this article to the database. Or when there's an edit or there's a create, we save that article. But we can also trigger, push this over to an Azure function. Here's the payload that goes with it. And then that function trigger a search rebuild, right? Add something into the search engine and let it re-index that information. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. So I think there's a great opportunity there to include that. And might be a good way to hook up sentiment analysis. Sure. So sentiment analysis, I think, right, there's another. The command, create comment happens, and one action that comes off that the application server takes as that comment is created is write to the database. The second action that needs to happen as workflow after the save happens properly is go do the sentiment analysis, and maybe that goes through a function. But it would be running asynchronous from the save operation. The save completed, we've returned control to our commenter. At that point, if the sentiment analysis takes another 5 seconds to load, who cares? When it comes back and it's running on an application service separate from the web server, finish, update the record in the database with the sentiment. I think you're right, ChecksMix. That makes sense. And great handle. Love the handle ChecksMix like that, right? And I'm guessing you're somewhere in Czech Republic with with a nickname like that today. Added macOS and Linux specific files. Yep, Andrew's right. We're going to work on Ubuntu through the month of October, but just wanted to add a couple of things here. And this is from Tobo Nautilus from chat. I'm just going to take a quick look. I want to make sure that you're not pulling a fast one here and saying exclude all CS files. Sounds good for durable functions to use it. That's a good idea too. Yeah. We'll wait for that to load. The network's really speeding along here. Let me tell you. But I really like the ideas that you guys are coming up with, that our pair programmers here in the chat room are coming up with, to take this. Really, CoreWiki is a simple project and extend it and add these additional features. But I also don't want to lose sight of, we need to make it a little bit more usable. We need to make it a little bit more friendly so that folks can start up and use it in their own environments, in their own ways, customize it, brand it, do those types of things. So looking at the changes here, macOS specific files, DS Store, Apple double, LS override, thumbnails, things that start with underscore, that's fine. Right, dot underscore, that's fine. Linux specific files, star tilde. Okay, it ends with a tilde. Okay. Fuse hidden, dot directory, dot trash. Yeah, these are all things that I think are fine to include as part of this. So I'll once again merge and allow this one to enter the project here. Come on, GitHub. Why isn't this all cached on my machine? Let me see. And then I think we're going to need to wrap up after this merge, because I need to get cleared out of here, because the next person's going to be coming in. Hello. So it's one of my friends from Sweden outside waiting to join. Come on, load. Let's try forcing the reload here. Maybe it'll pop open. There we go. Da, 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 da. All right, there we go. Awesome, merged. There we go. Thanks for picking up on this. Since I code on Windows primarily, this is a good pickup to support folks on other OSs. I like that. I want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity here. Hey, Ancient Coder. I started a little bit late here, and actually early in the day. I need to wrap up because I only have a certain amount of time here in the booth, and we had a lot of problems with network issues. Oh, that's great, Janescu. The Surface Go is shipping for you. Yeah, I hope you enjoy that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap up, but I will be back in about 45 minutes, about 2 rooms over that way. I'm going to be hosting another ASP.NET Core Get Started workshop. If you saw me on Tuesday, we had a little bit of problem with the network at the testing center. They tell me it's all fixed, and we're going to have a great time here this morning. So I hope you come back and join me. Like I said, in about 45 minutes, I'm being kicked out of the podcast room now, and we'll be doing a live workshop. There's details and there's details about what you need to get set up and get started. If you want to follow along with the workshop, over on my blog at jeffreyfritz.com. All right, I'm going to archive off this video. It'll be over on YouTube a little bit later today. I didn't archive the video from Tuesday. Hopefully this one goes a little bit better than what we had on Tuesday, but I think we'll have a great time. So thanks so much for your patience and for joining me this morning. I'll see you in about 45 minutes. And I'm going to try and be streaming live from home tomorrow. All right? Thanks so much. I'll see you in a little bit. Take care.